Hello there, and this is day 9 of the Roving Hill Stitch Along. It should be the last one, but we're going to have a bonus one on Monday. Hello there. I'm just getting all set up. It's a big one today because we're going to try some bullion knots, which aren't everybody's favourites, but we're going to give them a go. So quite fun. Hello. Hope you've had a lovely... Is it daytime for you? Or is it just coming up to the morning? It is obviously 6 PM here. I can't remember where you're based. I'm going to get lots of lengths all cut here. It's so beautiful and sunny again. Let's go with some pink in here and brighten it up. Maybe we should go with yellow as well. Maybe just a mix. Just 10 AM. Oh, that's not so bad. 10 AM. So you've had breakfast. It's brunch time now, isn't it? Brunch? Is it brunch now? Yeah, about 10:30. Okay. So, I'm going to get going. I've had to put the live back today because my son is going on a camp. I don't know whether you have scouts. Like the Scouting Association in America. But he's on a scouting trip this weekend, so we have an ottoman bed, and there's been a lot of all the camping gear under the bed, so I've had to wait for my husband to get home, and I do the live upstairs in our room because it's out of the way. So yeah, it's been wild, and they've still not quite left yet, so you might hear him shouting as he goes to the car, "See you later." He's very excited. We've got another bank holiday weekend in the UK, which is brilliant, and it's been lovely and sunny as well, so hopefully that stays. Now, just while we're starting, I'm not going to do all of these lines in bullion knots because that would be really bad. That would be hard on the hands. So we're going to break it up with some little bit of beadwork on some nice straight stitches. So I'm going to start off with a beading needle, and I'm going to mix my coloured thread. Oh, there's a car that keeps going down the road. It's got something with its exhaust, but you can hear it crackling. So I'm going to mix 2 colours there. I've mixed a yellow and a beige. I'm going to see if I can get both of the threads through the eye of my beading needle. I should be able to. A little bit of practice. Yeah, there we are. There we go. And I'm going to thread some beads on a straight stitch. Let's see how we do with this. We've got a nice knot at the end. I'm just going to snip it off, and I'm going to be choosing some beads as well from here. So I've got a mixed pot, so we're going to go with lovely random colours. Let's see what we can do. So there's my lovely pot of beads. I just need to rethread this needle. Here we go. Right. So I'm going to start off at the bottom. Oh no! Look what I've just done. We spilt the beads. But that's okay. We'll put them over there. And we'll pick from these as well. There's all the pink ones. I'll push those up there. They look so pretty. Look at them. Look all sparkly. Okay. So, I'm going to bring my needle up. And I'm going to choose some beads from my little pot. I'm going to try and stick with pinks and golds and creams or white. There. You can see those on there. And I'm going to stitch down at the end And then next to that, I'm going to do a plain stitch. And then I'm going to save this one here for a bullion knot. So I'm going to do the same again here. And I'm going to go pink, gold and clear. So a pink one, a gold one, that's a brownie one, a gold one and a clear one. Let them slide down my needle and then I'm going to stitch down just like that, and then I'm going to do a plain stitch. So I'm setting up the surrounding areas, surrounding stitches, ready for my bullion knot. So again, I'm going to go to here, and if you want to do the same repeat pattern with your beads, just make sure that you've got enough of each colour. So a pink one and a gold one and a clear one. Beautiful. So do you have plans for the rest of your day then? Anybody? Or is it a quiet one? Fridays are usually a quiet one. End of the week. Time for planning activities with the children and with family, I suppose. I'm hoping to get a nice walk in this weekend. My husband's going to be working. My son is now away for the whole weekend. He's back on Monday. Pink and gold and clear. Heading to the beach. Oh, amazing. Can I ask you a huge favour? One of my favourite things is when people go to the beach and then they upload to their Instagram stories, or they do a little video of just standing at the edge of the beach and the quietness of the beach and hearing the waves and them lapping in. It's like one of my most favourite calming sounds. If you do get a moment, I would love it if you recorded that and sent me a snippet of it. I just think it's so calming, being by the water. There we go. So I've set myself up there to do 1, 2, 3, 4 bullion knots. So I'm going to knot off at the back here. It is the best, isn't it? I think being near water is so good for your mental health, for your well-being, whether it's walking by the side of the lake. This week in the mornings I have taken myself off for a walk, and we've got a really beautiful canal, and you can ride down the side of the canal, you can walk down the side of the canal. There's lots of people always milling about, and I've been taking snippets of my walk, taking pictures, snippets of my walk. So there've been some gorgeous, a little bundle of little ducklings fast asleep on this little log, and the mummy duck, oh my goodness, was asleep with a head twisted back and a little eyes closed. So I took a little picture of that. I saw a heron, absolutely gorgeous heron, and we have canal barges, canal boats, and I saw one with somebody's name on that's joined in the stitch along. So I've been thinking all week I'm going to put a compilation together and see if you can spot the name on the side of this boat. But it's the name of somebody who's joined the stitch along, and it made me think of you guys. But it's been such a lovely way to start my morning. I've made a nice coffee and gone for a little wander out. It's been really, really lovely. Bye, guys! Oh, it's gone there. My son's on, for those who have just joined, my son's on scout camp this weekend, and he's just wandered across to the car with his huge bag. That's why we're a bit later today, because they were using our bed to pack up on all the camping stuff underneath our ottoman bed. So I had to wait for my husband to get home and get all of the stuff out for him. So, hi Veronica, how are you, my love? So yeah, that's how my week started, with going for beautiful walks. I'm going to bring this hoop a little bit closer. I'm going to move this tub of beads away because, Veronica, look what I've just done. I'll show you again. Spilt them. I've managed this whole stitch along without spilling the beads, and then I nudged them. So never mind. I'm going to put those in there and just lock off the top. Now I'm going to add my bullion knots on these little lines here. Now bullion knots are a little bit more tricky. Your fab bank, that's so good to know. Have you still got lovely sunshine where you are? Because it's cooler where I am now, but still beautiful and sunny. So I'm going to do my bullion knot with, I'm going to go with 4 strands of thread. And if I want the next one to be thicker, then I'll do it with 6. But I'm going to go with 4. No, I'm going to go with 4. Okay. Veronica, you're cooler here and a bit cloudy but dry. I know, we just want dry, don't we? Especially with having a lovely bank holiday to look forward to. I know it's going to cloud over a little bit tomorrow where we are, but I don't mind so much. We've had some lovely sunshine. Veronica, your beads are in the post, so let me know when they land. Obviously, with it being a bank holiday, it might not be till Tuesday now, but you can always add your beads afterwards, can't you? Got a nice little selection there. Okay, so I'm going to thread my needle. I've got 4 strands of thread. I'm going to lift my phone up and then I'm going to zoom in so you can see what my hands are doing. There we go. So I'm going to work on this line here. So I'm going to come up at the end of the line. You're very welcome, Veronica. Okay, and then I'm going to stitch down at the end of the marked line, so you can see that there. And then I'm going to make a little loop. I'm going to hold that loop. I'm going to zoom out a little bit just so you can see what my hands are doing. Okay. Now I'm going to bring my needle back up at this starting point. There. And I'm just going to let my needle stick up. Like that. I'm going to use this end, so the initial end that came in, there's my loop. And I'm going to wrap around my needle. I'll show you how many times, you can gauge how many times when you wrap around, wrap around, wrap around. When you push them down together and then hold your needle down, if the wraps are the length of the marked line, then you've got enough. That's a great way to be able to check. Now, this is the fiddly bit. So you are going to pull your needle up through the wraps that you've just made, and you're just going to gently hold the wraps with your non-stitching hand. So you want to hear a little pop coming up. Okay. I use my left hand to twiddle those little loops down, and whilst I'm twiddling them down, I'm pulling the thread through. I can feel them in between my fingers here. You can see them down there. If they look like they're loosening off, you can always twist them again. But you can adjust and adjust and adjust with this hand while you're pulling with your stitching hand. Now at this point, you can see you've got a little bit left here. I'm going to use my needle to hold those loops down and tease them. And once you've got them laid in place, you're going to stitch back down at the end and tie them off. Let me just zoom in there for you so you can see those little wraps that we held on to are in there. So just as with a French knot, you want to hold on to the tension. It's all in the tension of a bullion knot. So I'm going to go again. I'm going to keep the phone just to the side there so you can see what's happening with my hands. I'm going to zoom back out a little bit. Okay, so we're going to come in at the base of the marked line. I'm going to stitch down at the end and create a loop. We're just going to take our time. There we go. Okay, there's our loop. I'm going to come back up at the starting point here, and then I'm going to wrap around my needle. So I'm going to wrap 1, 2, 3, 4, and then I'm going to push the wraps down and check if I have enough to make the length. Now I think you can see there it's a little bit short, so I'm going to go again. So that was 4 wraps, 5, 6, let's check again, and 6 looks about right. Okay, I'm going to hold on to my loops there. I'm not doing it too tight because I want to be able to pull my needle through. You're going to listen for that little pop, and you're going to use your non-stitching hand to wiggle those loops down, and you're going to twist them just to make sure you're keeping that tension as you pull through. So you can see they've stretched up there, but I'm going to keep wiggling them down as I pull the thread through. So you can see it goes a bit baggy at the bottom, but don't worry, you can twist that tension back in. And then at this point, I'm going to use my tip of my needle just to edge those loops down as I keep pulling the thread through them. Lay it down in place and then stitch down. Like that. And the little bullion knot just sits in place like that. So we're going to go again. I'm going to move the camera out a little bit so you can see my hands. Can everybody see that okay? I know we've got less on the live tonight, but let me know if you can't see. Okay. Down at the end. And then we have a loop. You can see that okay, brilliant. We're going to come back up at the starting point. There's our needle, and last time it was 6 wraps, but as you can see the lines get wider, longer as you go to the end. So we're going to try 6 first and see if when we lie it down it's enough. 4, 5, 6. So I'm probably going to do another 1. I think that'll be enough, so 7 on this one. So I'm going to hold on to those wraps in that hand. I'm going to pull my needle through, and I'm working all the tension with this hand here. So just little twists, just gentle twists while you're pulling your needle through. And don't worry, it might feel like it's going wrong. Look, those twists have gone all the way up, but I'm just twisting the opposite way, twisting them back down, making sure that they go right down that thread. Let's keep pulling. Go, and then we stitch down into that starting point. How do you think that looks? Do you feel like it's something you could give a try? Because they are more complicated, but they do create a really lovely stitch and overall effect, I think. So I'm going to go in again. So this one would be a bullion knot. And I'm going to stitch down. Oh, got a bit of love in there. Now let me see if I can do this in a left-handed way, because I know we've got a couple of left-handed stitches, so this is my brain thinking the complete opposite way now. So when I wrap this way, I go that way round. So now I'm going to go this way round. Okay, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. I think 7 will be okay for this one. Now once I've wrapped round, I hold them with this hand. This is for you, Veronica, because I know that you are left-handed. Although I know now, you must have told me that before, but I must have completely forgotten. So this hand's a little bit warm. Let me give that one a wiggle. So I'm pulling this through and wiggling those little wraps down. Oh, this is really trying, isn't it? Doing it with your opposite hand. There we go. keep those wraps on. Okay, and at this point I am going to use my needle, so I'm going to pull with this hand. I'm going to use my needle, so you can see I haven't pulled that as tight, but I think I can salvage that actually. I give them a wiggle down. Okay, and then I'm going to stitch down into my fabric and lock that off. I'm going to do another left-handed one, because I also know now that Mel is left-handed too. I didn't know Mel was left-handed. And I think instead of you having to do all the work and having to translate it, I'm going to go again. That's the first time I've done a bullion knot with my left hand. You can see it's not as neat as the other ones, but I think that was a good try. Hi, Martha. So this one's going to be a beaded one. In fact, let me show you from the beaded and back again. Where did I put that thread? Let's rethread. So I think I used one of each. So I used one cream. And I used one yellow. And I threaded them through a beading needle. Because I'm doing a little pattern along these lines here. So I had a few more people join. I was just letting everyone know on the start of the video that my son is at a scouting camp this weekend. So hi there, Brandy. My son's at a scout camp this weekend. And all of our scouting, and my husband likes doing camping. I can't remember what you call it. It's not lone camping, is it? Free camping. Wild camping. Oh, God, free camping. Do not worry. You can join whenever you like, my love. Wild camping. My husband likes doing wild camping. So we've got like a individual burner, you know, that you warm your food in. And I'm not making it sound very technical here, but my husband, he sees it very technical. And we have the sleeping bags, the air beds, and everything underneath our ottoman bed. So I was waiting for my husband to get home to lift the ottoman bed to get my son's camping gear out so that he could take him off to the scout camp for the weekend. Hi! Oh, just popping in while you're cooking tea. Lovely. So yeah, so that's why we're a bit later this weekend, and I wanted to see him off as well and give him a big hug before he went. He's away for the whole weekend. So yes, they're sorted and gone now. He's on his way there. So on here, I am just doing a beaded line, a straight line, and then a bullion knot. So here you can see I've got my little beads on there. I've gone with 3 colours, so I've gone with pink, gold and clear. I'm going to let them fall down my needle, and then I'm going to stitch down at the end. And they just sit on the top there. And then I'm going to do one straight stitch next to it, and then will come the bullion knot. And we're going to go again here. Now here, this one gets a little bit longer, so do I add an extra bead or do I just leave the beads? Let's add an extra one. We'll have a play. So I'm going pink, and then I'm going gold, and then I'm going with a clear, and then I'm going with a pink again. So I've got 4 on there, because this line's a bit longer. What are you making for tea, Knit Swift? I can see you've got a knife for chopping as a little emoji, and an egg in a pan. So are you doing eggs for tea tonight? I always love knowing what people are making for dinner. Martha's a brilliant cook. And I always ask for pictures of Martha's dinner. I love seeing pictures of people's dinner. I love food. I don't actually know what we're having tonight. So I'm going to go again with the beads. I can continue on to the end, and then I'll show you the bullion knot, so I can show you them one after the other. But so far, I've not had anybody panic. And I think it would be really good to try. Some people don't find them the easiest, but they are a cool one to try. Let's see if I can find another pink one. There. I wonder, let me try. I'm going to see if I'm going to need an extra bead. Yes, pink gold, clear pink gold. Because these lines get longer, adding more beads. Homemade tomato sauce. Oh, not actually making an egg, but pasta and sausages. Oh, I love doing that. I usually cook the sausages up, chop them up into like little sections, and then pop them into the sauce. But homemade tomato sauce, oh, it's so nice. There we go. Is that too many on that one? No, I'm going to keep it. No regrets, Nat. No regrets. Sounds delicious, doesn't it? Sound good. So you're having it with pasta, did you say? Yes, pasta. Pasta and sausages. That sounds gorgeous. I don't really know what I fancy for tea tonight. Just fancy something. I think Friday night is for like Friday night tea. Like where you have like something really nice. Because to celebrate the end of a week. Okay, I have run out of pink beads on the table. I was just showing Veronica before that I spilled all my beads. Day 9 of the stitch along, and it's taken me till now to spill the beads. So let's tip some into here. See if we can find some more pinks. There's all the pinks. I've got 2 more left to do with beading, and then I'm going to go straight back into the bullion knots. So pink, gold, clear, pink, 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 and gold. There we go. Veronica said, yum, we're having, fish and chips. So is that a chippy tea? Fish and chips. Now you're up north, aren't you? So do you have gravy with your fish and chips? My daughter likes a tub of gravy with fish and chips. I like fish chips and peas, mushy peas from the chippy. Knit Swift has said, going out to Bund o Bus tomorrow. So an easy tea tonight and a feast tomorrow. Oh, what's that? Is that a festival? Bund o Bust? Is that, am I saying that right? Is that a place? I've never heard of that before. It sounds cool. So we're going with, this is the last one of the beading. Yes, last one's beading. So pink, gold, clear, pink. Come on, one more pink, one more pink. That's not quite the right pink, is it? No. I can't stray away from the correct pink, because that will forever bug me. There we are. Last one's on. And we're going to stitch. Oh no, I haven't stitched up. Oh, okay. Fish supper, no gravy, maybe a pickled onion. Oh, those really large ones. You see them in like the big jars when you go in. I've seen them. Some people have pickled eggs, but is that down south? I think that's a London thing, isn't it? Pickled eggs. I don't think they have them in our ones here. And Knitswift says, Indian street food restaurant in Manchester. Oh my gosh, I've never heard of that. That sounds amazing. Oh, do you know, have you tried, Knitswift, have you tried the cargo market at Media City? I've been in there and it looks amazing, but I went in on my own and I was a bit overwhelmed. I didn't know where to start, so I do need to go in and yeah, try again. But it smelled divine. It smelled gorgeous. Martha said pickled eggs are gross. But I've never ever had a pickled egg. Never. I like pickled cabbage. I love pickled onions. But I've never had a pickled egg, and I can't actually imagine what it tastes like. Does it lose the taste of the egg because it's pickled, maybe? And Nixie says, not yet, but I need to go. Yeah, the cargo market's amazing. It does look really good. If you're looking for somebody to go with you, Knitswift, I'm your gal. Because, yeah, like I say, I went in. In fact, it was the night that I went to the cinema on my own for the first time. and I just say, the most amazing feeling going to the cinema on your own. It's the first time I've done it. I was a bit nervous, but oh my gosh, I got up and left when I wanted. I ended up just going to a fast food place because I was so overwhelmed by the cargo market, but I desperately want to go again. But yeah, I just took myself off for a date to go watch a film, and it was brilliant. It's a date. Oh, that'd be amazing. Oh, that'd be so good. I'll really look forward to that. Anybody else fancy the cargo market, Media City? I mean, this is a live that's open to everybody, so maybe, yeah, be careful who we're inviting here. We don't meet with strangers, do we, kids? Careful. Nick Swifter said, I won't try a pickled egg either. Yeah, Brandy says, I don't like pickled anything but pickles. I love pickled onions, especially the tiny ones, the silver skin ones. And Martha said, oh, I love pickled onions and I love eggs every which way except pickled. I've never tried one. Can I just ask if anybody has tried one? Does the yolk stay yellow when it's pickled? Oh, so many questions. I'll hop over the pond and come. Oh my gosh, imagine if we actually did that. That'd be so cool. Oh my gosh, we'd all just meet up and go food. Just get a flight over. See if we can get a jet. Get you here, a few hours. Get you back. We could just hire a nice big house in the country. Veronica, maybe we could pitch up some tents in your garden. That might be nice. Okay, bullion knots. We're back to the bullion knot. So I'm going to go with this line here. I'm going to start at the bottom. Manchester has an airport. Woo! We're planning it. This is going to work. This is going to happen. We're going to go down at the top and we're going to have a little loop here. I'm going to show you a right-handed one and then a left-handed because we've got some lovely left-handed people in this group. I'm going to bring my needle up at the base. There. And I'm going to wrap my thread around from this end where the needle is about 6 times, was it? 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I'm going to push my threads down and I'm going to lie them down on the fabric to see if I've wrapped them enough time to be long enough. So it's not, I'm going to add another 2, 7, 8. Now at this point, we're going to pull the needle up through those wraps. Hello, Sarah. So Veronica said, need to be small tents, but sounds good. I have a pal with a big garden. I can twist his arm. That sounds amazing. It's going to be a festival. So I'm going to twist the little wraps here. I'm going to pull my thread through. I'm just going to keep giving them a little wiggle. Don't rush it. Take your time. And then once we get to this point here where it gets a bit smaller, we're going to use our needle. Just contain those little loops and keep pulling our thread through. You're going to pull it upwards and away. This one's coming in there, can you see? I'm going to lie those loops down. Martha's named the festival. It's going to be called Natfest 2025. Imagine. Oh my gosh, it'll be like, what's the festival called that they have over here? Sarah that just joined, she's my sister-in-law, she goes to them all. Or she used to go to them all anyway, with pre-kids. Gosh, what's that big one called they always have here? And everyone always it always seems to rain on that weekend and they get so muddy. Oh, Martha, you do make me laugh. So we're going to go with the left-handed one now. So I'm going to bring the needle up. I'm going to hold with my right. I'm just going to pull camera up here so you can see. Now this is harder for me because I'm naturally right-handed, but I'm going to bring the needle up here. I'm going to use my right hand to twist 8 times. Glastonbury, that's the one. That's the one. Would never have remembered that again. My mind goes blank when I'm trying to think of words like that. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Okay, I'm going to wiggle those down. Did I still have 8 then? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Nope. 7, 8. I'm just going to check that that's long enough. I think 8 will do that one. Yes. Okay, I'm going to hold those. I'm going to wiggle my needle up through the middle. So a little pop, little wiggle. Thunderbirds all over again. I could not remember the name. of Thunderbirds, Tracy Island. And I could see the characters, I could see the figures, and I just could not remember. Here we are. You're all testing my perimenopausal brain now. Okay, so here's those loops. At this point, I'm going to pull with this hand. I'm going to hold my loops in place. There we go. Wiggle, wiggle, wiggle. And we're going to stitch down. I haven't done enough loops on that one, have I, for the length? But I think we can salvage it. I'm going to pull down. There. There we go. Time to feed my child. So bye for now. Happy stitch, everyone. Oh, enjoy your dinner. It sounds absolutely gorgeous. Enjoy. Okay. I'm going to start back at this bottom one here. I'll show you another one here with my right hand. And down at the bottom. There we go. Back up. I'm going to wrap around 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Let's go again. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Let's see if that's long enough. That does look long enough on that one. I'm going to hold onto my wraps, push my needle up, twisting those loops down while I pull my thread through. Once it gets shorter, Brandy, what do you think of these ones? Are you still there? Because you were quite nervous, weren't you, about doing the scroll stitch, and you absolutely smashed them. These ones here, you do so well with them. I think it looks so much harder when it's not your hands doing it sometimes. But hopefully I'm showing you in the moment, like, what your hands look like as you're doing these little stitches. So I hope it's helpful seeing my hands moving as they go. And we've got 2 more left to do. 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Push those down. Oh, I'm going to need a couple more on there. It's a nice long one. Okay. I'm watching very, very carefully. Honestly, I think once you start feeling the thread in your fingers, and once you slow down and start the video again, you'll get it. But it's all just in the tension. Don't give up if you feel the wraps moving up the thread. You're pulling the length slowly and you're twisting the wraps back down as you go. And they're much easier than they look. You look at it and you think, oh my goodness, trying to hold them all. But it's just all about doing it really slowly. Really using your fingers to feel where the wraps are and twisting them back down the thread as you pull it through. One more. Will I have enough thread to do one more? No, because I'm going to show you. I'm going rogue, guys. I'm going rogue, and I'm going to show you what happens if you put too many wraps on. Which could be really nice if, like Mel, you've done little bits of broccoli and little bits of carrot. I'm going to show you how you make little caterpillars. So again, watch out. Brandy has said, I would always end up with that loose thread on the end of the wrap. So when you say on the end of the wrap, do you mean at the start or do you mean at the top? I'm going to assume you mean at the top. Okay. If you mean at the top, I'll show you. At the top, yeah. So that is all in. So you saw then, when I pull it through and you're laying it down, as long as you've got your hand at the top and you're pushing it down, you're pulling any slack away. If you don't pull all the slack away when it lies down, you're going to have extra thread for the loops to move along on. You want them to be tight. You want to be pushed all the way down. You're going to pull all the slack away before you stitch down. And that's how you'll get that done. So give it a go. Let me see how you get on with it. Now on this last one here, I'm going to put too many wraps, and so you can see what happens to the thread. So on the others, it's been about 8. So let's see how many. I'm going to push my needle quite high up because I'm going to wrap quite a lot on. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17. Okay. Now, I'm going to push those wraps down so you can see the wraps there. Oops. I'm going to twist them like this. It's harder when you've got more on there. I want to take away any sort of slack. I want them to be sitting nice and straight on there, all while I'm pulling my thread through. I'm controlling the tension of them. I'm pulling, and I want to make sure, Brandy, oh, it's not in focus. I want to make sure that I am holding. This is where your loop will come at the top. If you haven't pulled it all the way through, taken away any slack. Okay. So with this one, I haven't actually put enough wraps on this one, but you can see it slightly. If you put too many wraps on there, I think I wasn't twisting to tighten, yeah. So they wouldn't be tight, that's exactly it. So just take your time with it. You can twist and adjust it. Until you lock it off, you can twist and adjust it. When you put too many wraps on, you end up getting a bullion knot that sits above your fabric. So if you were to make longer ones, if this was on a shorter line here, this would be longer. You can see here, it's hard to get your needle underneath because it's sat really flat. But you can make like little caterpillars by putting more than enough wraps on. When you get to the end, it has to sit up in like a little bridge. So it might be fun to have a practice. Maybe with some of these that are smaller, put extra wraps on so that it can't lie down flat. It's got to sit up, and it ends up sitting in a little bridge. So it's another way to add a little bit of texture. I'm just going to knock that off at the bottom. Yeah, it's all in the twisting of it, Brandy. So definitely give it a try. And I think sometimes with French knots and with stitches that really do sit high up on top of the fabric, I do think we do rush. We kind of think, oh, I'm going to drop it all, I'm not going to remember where I'm up to. But at any point with most stitches, you can pop your needle in, have a rest, have a look at where you're up to, and refigure what you're doing with that. Okay, now this one here, do you remember we did couching up here at the top? I'm going to do a bit more couching here, and I'm going to add more than one colour in the strands that sit across. I'm going to have a little play with the colour there. So I'm going to thread my needle. I'm going to knot it at the end. I'm going to bring my first colour up at the end here, and I'm just going to leave it lying on the top, and then I'm going to choose my next colour. I'm going to go with, in fact no, I've done a lot with the cream. Let me use a bright orange with this one, and yellow I think. I'm going to thread my orange in here. I'm just going to work on this couch in here, and then where are we? We're going to save this bit here for Monday and the sun. So we'll have another 2 days to do some catch up, and then Monday will be the final one. It shouldn't be the final one, tonight should be the final one, but I have eked out another night with you guys. You can tell because I've actually finished this row here. I just can't let you go. Here we are. So there's a dark orange as well. Yeah, let's just do 2. And then I'm going to use, where's that dark green? I'm going to use the dark green to trap this. But I'm not going to use all 6 strands. I'm just going to use 3 because I want it to look quite thin. My aim is to make this bit thicker, and in order to make that look thicker, I'm going to go with a thinner amount to anchor it down. So I'm going to go above like this. I'm going to rethread my needle, and then I'm going to come up just at the top of the line here. And instead of coming straight down like I have here, I'm going to come across diagonally. So I'm going to be trapping this, but I'm going to look where I'm coming up at. So I'm going to use these as a guide. So I've come up here, I'm going to come down at this marking on the underneath of the line, like that. I'm going to make sure they're laid down a bit further away because I don't want to squish them. I want to be able to see both colours. And I'm going to pull that down like that. So I've got a diagonal line. And then I'm going to go diagonally on the other side. Like that. So I've got a little cross. And then I'm going to go again. So I'm going to go to the next marked line. So I'm going with this marked line here. So I'm going with the next marked line here. I'm going to go diagonally and lock it off here. I'm going to do little crisscrosses on top, still couching, but just a different way. So I've got more thread, more colours, and I've gone with a crisscross instead. So just another way to play around with couching. So cross on the top there. That looks really pretty. And again. Further in. What do we think of this way of couching? I think this one looks really cute. There. And I'll show you when we get to the end just how we're going to lock that off. I need to make sure that I can record this one, so I'm going to do this line. I'm going to do the bottom one exactly the same. It's pretty, isn't it, Veronica? I like this one. I'm going to do the bottom one exactly the same, but change my colours around, just so you know which way I'll be stitching this. And I'll show you how to close it off at the end. This one. Beautiful. I think we've got one more. And I'll show you how to close off your threads. It'll be so interesting to see how you do with yours. The last one here. Oh, you can't see, sorry, you've gone right off the screen there. So now we're at the end and we need to lock these off. So let me zoom out. I'm going to leave my green just hanging down there. I'm going to rethread my lighter colour onto my needle. And all I'm going to do is stitch down. And again with this one, stitch down. Lovely birds singing outside tonight. And then we would just knot off those lines at the bottom. So there we go. Lovely. So we've got lovely bullion knots, straight stitches, beadwork, and we've got this lovely line of couching, so a thicker couching line with crisscrosses on top, and I'm going to do the same underneath but change my colours around, ready to show you on Monday. So on Monday I'm going to, of course, with my sky, I'm going to finish off my cloud. We're going to work on this lovely section here at the bottom and do our woven wheel flowers, and our lovely sunshine. You can see our sun is similar to here. We've got an odd number, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. You've got to have an odd number. And we're going to do exactly the same up here as we are down here. So there we are. So I'm going to upload this to Instagram now. Over the weekend, I'll be uploading everything and updating YouTube, so everything can be followed. And I would love to see your progress. I'd love to see your bullion knots over the weekend. Thank you so much to everyone who's shared their pictures. It's been lovely seeing them all. And lovely being able to kind of cheer you on as well. I think it's been lovely seeing you all share with each other. I've seen you commenting on each other's posts. Such a lovely community way of working. And I think as adults, I think if, as children, we kind of like really like to have that praise and really like to have that, you know, a bit of a pat on the back, a well done, a trufty badge. And I think as adults, we don't get that enough, I don't think. And I think we do some really good stuff. I think we come out of our comfort zones, try new things. And I think it's really important to kind of cheer each other on. And I think you've all done some amazing stitches. It's been great to see them, and I find it fascinating to see what other colours people use and how they put them together. So yeah, there we go. Right, everybody, enjoy a lovely sunny weekend, and I will see you for the final time of the stitch along on Monday. Oh, I might cry. No, I won't do. I'll be fine. Okay, have a lovely weekend. I'll see you later. Bye.